Why I used fishy bait in summer and caught big fish. Intro. Hey fellow anglers! Fishing pole and fish. Have you ever heard the saying, don't use fishy bait in summer? I used to swear by it too, thinking it only attracted small fish. But guess what? I shattered that rule with a fishing session that'll blow your mind. So today, I'm sharing how I used fishy bait on a scorching hot summer day and ended up landing big fish. Stick around to find out what happened. 1. The myth: no fishy bait in summer. Now, let's start with the classic fishing rule everyone follows: don't use fishy baits in summer. Why? Well, it's said that small fish swarm fishy bait like crazy, but big fish? They won't even look at it. Makes sense, right? But here's the thing, I used to believe that too. So, on my summer trips, I'd always pack corn kernels, secretly hoping to hook a big carp and have a proper fight. But reality? I'd end up staring at a motionless float from dawn till dusk. If you've been there, you know it's one of the worst feelings, worse than going home empty-handed. 2. A change of approach: fishy bait for small fish. Now, let's be real. If the big fish weren't biting, I might as well catch small fish. So, I kept fishy baits like field blue crucian and red worm crucian in my bag. At least that way, I could reel in some whitebait or bitterlings. Even when the big ones were elusive, catching something felt better than sitting around doing nothing. But what happened on my latest trip? It was unreal. 3. The unexpected turn of events. Last weekend, the weather was brutally hot: 35–36 degrees C, 95 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit, every day. Then, a cloudy, windy day showed up, and for us anglers, that's like a sign from above to go fishing. So, I rushed to the river at 6 a.m., did my usual prep with rice chum and mixed bait, and threw in a fishy-smelling commercial bait. 5 minutes in, my float plunged sharply. I caught a crucian carp over 100 grams. I thought, this is gonna be a good day. And it was. I caught several fish in a row, and I knew this was my chance to call up my fishing buddy who'd been struggling recently. He'd almost given up, but I told him, hurry over, the bites are different today. 4. The slowdown and realization. Unfortunately, as the sun came out and heated up the water, the bites slowed down. Small fish started to swarm, and by noon, we had barely 1.5 kilograms of fish. My buddy had to leave, so I handed over all the fish to him. As I watched him drive off, I noticed he still had some fishy commercial bait in his car, the smell stronger than mine. I thought, what if the spot was just wrong? So I grabbed his leftover bait and thought, I'm gonna try somewhere else. 5. The afternoon surprise. Around 3 p.m., I reached a new spot on the river. No chumming this time, I just used his leftover red worm crucian bait. After a couple of casts, I hooked a palm-sized whitebait. I was happy enough, thinking, at least I'll catch big whitebait. But then, as soon as I switched to field blue crucian bait, everything changed. Small fish disappeared. Instead, schools of crucian carp appeared like a magic show. I'm not kidding, every cast had a bite. I was reeling in fish so quickly it felt like I was fishing in a stocked pond. 6. The thrill of the big catch. And then came the biggest surprise. I hooked a huge crucian carp. I was freaking out as I fought it. I watched its golden, brick-wide back flip through the water, thinking, please don't get away. Why the panic? Well, I was using a 0.6-liter line that had gotten tangled like crazy, and a rusty size 3-sleeve hook. Normally, I'd be worried about catching small fish, let alone this big one. Plus, I didn't even have a keep net, just a landing net that was already filled with pounds of fish. But, somehow, I got it in. At home, I weighed it, it was nearly 350 grams. I couldn't believe it. 7. The big revelation: weather changes everything. So what made that day so unbelievable? Well, after a few days of scorching heat, the sudden cloudy, windy break cooled the water and increased oxygen levels. This change in the weather made the fish more active and willing to feed. That's when the power of fishy bait really kicked in. It was like the bait called them from all directions. So the moral here is, timing is everything. Even though everyone says, no fishy bait in summer, if you get the right weather like a sudden cool down after a hot spell, those rules don't apply. It's all about reading the fish's mood. Conclusion. So, what did I learn? In fishing, there's no hard and fast rule. You have to read the weather, the water, and the fish's mood. Sometimes, that taboo bait can turn into your secret weapon if you use it at the right time. Don't be afraid to experiment and break the rules when you need to. Fishing isn't just about following traditions, it's about adapting and having fun with whatever nature throws at you. About the author. I'm a passionate fishing blogger here to share my experiences and help fellow anglers improve. Like, save, and follow for more tips and tricks, and stay tuned for the next fishing adventure. Tight lines, everyone.